This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Wednesday, November the 18th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story this morning, Trinidad and Tobago conglomerate ANSA McAl is heading back to the law courts as it shows no sign of backing down from its bid to buy out Banks Holdings Limited BHL. However, this time around, the company is not going it alone. It has won the support of the major BHL shareholders who collectively hold over 100,000 shares. In a statement last evening, President and Chief Executive Officer of ANSA McAl, Barbados, Nicholas Motte, served notice they will be appealing last Friday's decision by Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson to lift an injunction that blocked the sale of Barbados' largest beverage company. Motte said the company will be joined by several other BHL shareholders who intend to bring a class action suit against BHL with a view to getting the 10-put, that's 10-put option clause removed from the BHL SLU agreement. The controversial exit clause outlined in the 2010 agreement between BHL and St. Lucia Beverages has been a major bone of contention. ANSA and disgruntled shareholders argue that it gives SLU, which is owned by the Brazilian conglomerate Ambev, an unfair advantage in the bidding process. In other news now, 140 workers are to be sent home at the end of this year when the 25-year-old JB's supermarket in Sergeants Village, Christchurch, closes its doors. Well-placed sources said the company had originally planned to shut down on October the 1st and retrench 200 employees, but former General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Sir Roy Trotman, told management no way. In fact, the source said Sir Roy was so irate that he threatened to shut down the country if management followed through with the proposal. The popular supermarket owned by Trinidad and Tobago conglomerate Massey Stores is set to re-employ 50 of those 140 workers at its new mega store in Kendall Hill, Christchurch, which is expected to open in March. The controversial tipping fee is being reviewed once again. Minister of the Environment, Dennis Lowe, told Parliament last night he hopes his ministry can now come up with a new measure which is more equitable and manageable for all stakeholders. The tipping fee, which had been administered by the state-owned Sanitation Service Authority, is a levy on waste delivered to the Barbados Sustainable Recycling Centre at Vaucluse in St. Thomas. Truckers and haulers in Barbados have protested the fee, contending that it was a measure they could not afford and therefore threatened their very survival.
The tipping fee was raised as an issue that has created some hardships and that perhaps may have forced persons to start doing illegal dumping. Look, illegal dumping is not the result of a fee. It is the result of bad habits. Irresponsible people who do not wish to utilize the resources made available to them. But I'm happy to report that the tipping fee, which is still in place, is being reviewed again, and we are hoping that we come up with a measure that is fully equitable and fully manageable by all and sundry involved.
Central Bank Governor Dr. Delisle Worrell has suggested that there's one sure way for the country to record 3% economic growth this year. However, it would have required a 100% switch over from electricity to solar energy. Worrell therefore told those attending a renewable energy and energy efficiency workshop not to expect any significant change to the central bank's 0.5% growth projection for 2015. The bank is further projecting 1% growth next year and about 2% thereafter.
We know that already there are policies in place in other sectors, which we hope will actually get us a little beyond that. But compare that with what would be possible if we didn't have to import fuel at all. We would be at 3% this year. We would rise to about 5% next year. The year after, we would be at 6%, and we would be, in a couple of years, at 7%. In other words, among the fastest growing economies in the whole world.
At that same workshop, Executive Chairman of Williams Industries, Ralph Busy Williams, argued that at least 60% of all alternative energy produced in this island should be owned by Barbadians. Williams, an alternative energy advocate, also objected to any move by Canadian energy giant Emera to take total control of the Barbados Light and Power Company.
I realize that Emera has spent a tremendous amount of money in Barbados to invest in the light and power, and there is a role for Emera to play in the distribution of electricity, but there is a limit. I do not wish to see a situation where Emera owns the entire thing. Otherwise, you're gonna get objection from people lots of little people who would like to invest some of their savings.
The new Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Trading Commission, Sandra Seeley, who also attended the energy workshop, assured Barbadians that the FTC was keeping an eagle's eye on developments in the electricity and telecommunications sectors.
The Commission is keeping an eye on all the developments within both the electricity and the telecommunications sector. We, under our Fair Competition Act, will be having an eye to the developments, and where necessary, we will as always act in the interest of Barbados and the consumers in Barbados.
In sports, Wesley Hall Primary played unbeaten yesterday as action in Zone 7 of the Burger Royale Cape Shepherd National Primary Schools Road Tennis Championship continued at Blackman and Gollop Primary School. Wesley Hall ended the morning with a 4-0 record after registering victories over Luther Thorne Primary, St. Giles Primary, Reynold Beeks Primary, and Eden Lodge Primary. Wesley Hall were represented by Antari Hines, Shaquem Nurse, and Joshua Morris. Playing against Reynold Beeks in their opening game, Hines defeated Nathaniel Brathwaite 21-16. Nurse beat Rasheen Affley 21-13, and Morris won from Jelani Blenman 21-4 to give Wesley Hall the 3-0 result.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The Transport Ministry in St. Lucia is pushing to close a loophole which requires only insurance documentation to clear motor vehicles at the ports. Transport officials suggest that over the years, the current policy has allowed thousands of unregistered vehicles to illegally operate on St. Lucia's roadways. The traffic department in the police force says the issue poses a threat to national security.
St. Lucia's Motor Vehicle Licensing Act stipulates motorists are required to register a vehicle to legally operate on St. Lucia's roadways. However, a worrying loophole continues to be exploited by motor vehicle importers.
What we've also discovered through the traffic department is that there are vehicles being landed in St. Lucia, and once the vehicles leave the port, those vehicles, some of them may never pass through the licensing authority. So we are currently in the process of reviewing our procedures to ensure that we capture every single vehicle that is operating on the roads in St. Lucia.
Transport officials estimate tens of thousands of unregistered motor vehicles are currently operating on St. Lucia's roadways, amounting to hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue to the state.
On the international scene, serious plans for explosions forced the evacuation of a stadium in Hanover, Germany on Tuesday night before a Netherlands-Germany friendly soccer match. The police chief for Germany's Lower Saxony region said that authorities had concrete intelligence that someone wanted to set off an explosive device inside the stadium. The two tips forced officials to cancel the Netherlands-Germany match about 90 minutes before kickoff. And that's where we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV and to Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.